Chelsea Football Club at this moment in time are sitting in 10th position, and Florent Malouda comes out on John Obi Mikel's podcast with damning quotes. I'm going to tell you why. I agree partially with him, but he is wrong in the sense that Chelsea are not going to do anything anytime soon if they don't change, because the underlying stats suggesting we're going to be fine. And number two, a lot of people are blaming the TV deal for players getting injured consistently. It's not the TV deal's fault. It is the club's, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because the Premier League has seen 15% of an increase in players getting injured, and the clubs are doing nothing about it when it's in their power. Let's get into it. Let's break this down. I know you're bored from the international break, so welcome to the Kavkas View, brato. Here, you guys made it this far. Evidently, you are bored with the international break, so you need some Kavkas View. You need a little bit of football-related conversation, and luckily, that's what I'm here to do. So before we get started, I need you lot to do me a massive favor. It's quiet. I know it's a bit hard, so hit the like button and give me some support on this video to get some traction. I want 1,000 likes on this video, and the best way you guys can support is by doing that. Subscribe if you're new. Guys, I give you the most realistic, entertaining version of Chelsea events, all right? A lot of people enjoy it. My retention says you guys are enjoying it, so please do that. And finally, if you guys want more football-related content from me, in the pinned comment is my TikTok and Twitter. Go follow me there. That's where you can engage with me, and that's where you can watch my other content. All right, let's start with the John Obi Mikel podcast. Number one, Mikel's got an absolutely amazing podcast. When I tell you, Mikel's podcast has me sitting there on the edge of my seat, listening to it, and just laughing along as I go along. Purely based on the fact that he's had John Terry, he had Victor Osimhen, he had Frank Lampard, and Florent Malouda. And Florent Malouda's one is the best one by far, because I didn't expect that from Florent Malouda. I did not expect Florent Malouda to be so chilled out, so relaxed, so charismatic, so funny. Like, he's literally somebody that is just talking from his heart. Doesn't care that he's on camera, isn't playing up to the camera. And honestly, if you haven't watched it yet, go and watch it. After this video, go and watch it, because so entertaining, amazing. However, when he spoke about this current Chelsea crop, he said something that was very interesting, and I thought, I get it. I really do. Your mentality is different. And guys, this is one thing that we kind of have to accept. We had a special bunch of players, man. He literally said he doesn't recognize the club. Apart from the blue jerseys, this ain't Chelsea. And that is damning. When a former player of the caliber of Florent Malouda says that, it is damning. You listen to Florent Malouda when he talks, because the man's achieved so much in his career. He played a big vital role in Chelsea's history. There was a season, I think, under Carlo Ancelotti, where he was banging in goals in the system for fun. I think there was one where on an FPL game, he was the best player of the year. He racked up the most points. I think it was in the Carlo season when we won the Premier League. I could be wrong. He also said something else. He said the players these days are just too happy with little minor achievements. If they don't win a cup, it's okay. And I agree with that. I am shocked with the number of players that are like, oh, you know what, top four is the only thing important. Bruv, when you retire, you don't get a top four medal. Like, you don't look at your top four medals. When you retire, you look at your Carling Cup medal, you look at your FA Cup medal, you look at your Premier League medal, you look at your Champions League medal, your Europa League medal. And there's just not enough urgency to win cups. And he basically said, man, the key words, the buzzwords are coming out. And this is what we've seen from this current organisation. Top four. He even joked that, and now it's top six. And it really is. Now it's top five. Because I've caught myself doing it. Oh, we need to make top five. Now, bruv, Chelsea need to win the Carling Cup, or the Carabao Cup as it's called now, the FA Cup this year, and finish in the top four, purely based on the fact that we need to get Champions League football for next year. But cups are integral. We can win cups this year. And the reason I say we can win them this year is because the stats suggest so. Like, I looked at the underlying numbers, right? What is the difference between Chelsea's first 6 games and the last 5 games? We played 11 games. Sky Sports only provided stats from those periods. Number one, in the first 6 games, we were ranked 20th for conversion. And the conversion percentage was 5.5%. So basically, every 20 shots, we were going to score 1. That's the way you need to look at it. Can you imagine how difficult it must have been to score goals when the strikers and the forwards are converting at that rate? Then we jumped up to 3rd. And why did we jump up to 3rd? Because our conversion went up to 18.5%. 18.5%. Meaning, in the last 5 games, we have been finishing chances as the best 3rd team in the league on chance created, converted. Then we need to look at the whole from a holistic point of view. Let's look at it from top downwards. In the league, expected chances created, 3rd. We've created 26.76. That means we are 3rd place for most chances created. Chances conceded against was 6th. Okay, we could improve there. We should improve there. Because we are 6th with 16.3. Arsenal is in top first place, and the teams above us are the Liverpool, the Newcastles, Manchester Cities. So we kind of see. However, when you take the whole picture on expected points, we should be 4th. We should be above Arsenal based on the metrics and the underlying numbers. And it's evident why we're not. The first 6 games, that conversion rate translates. If we actually just go back to the median, we don't even need to go to what's it called, like the lower ends or high extremes. If we just go back to the middle, I think this will normalize itself, and eventually we will get up to the top 4 and then hopefully start closing the gaps, because the league's gone this year. That's the way we need to accept it. The league is gone. Next year is a reality. We need to add 2 pieces. For me, it's a keeper and a striker. And all of a sudden, this team just becomes a good team. Like, people don't want to accept it, but it's the truth. Nkunku, Sterling, Mudryk, and Palmer, banging. It works. It just works. Purely based on the fact you've got 2 experienced, 1 inexperienced player that is very raw, 1 inexperienced player that is performing at this moment in time. You've got Jackson, a new number 9, and Broja. Let them fight out. And then you need a goalkeeper. We need to improve on Robert Sanchez, and we've got a very good team. I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with me on that. I think now we need to talk about a topic that is more related to football in general, okay? And the reason I say we need to talk about it in general is because there's a lot of people at this moment in time are suggesting that TV deal is wrong. The players are playing too much football. Players aren't getting enough attention. Players aren't getting enough protection. I'm going to tell you, the TV deal is the reason the players get paid as much money as they do. Clubs, boards, and players all signed up to this. That's the fact of the matter. And I think they can't run away from it. When they agreed to sign the TV deal, they understood that TVs had rights to select games to be where they wanted it. It was a pre-agreed condition. Once that happens and you sign it and you reap the rewards of the salaries and the money generated, you can't complain now that you're unhappy with people getting injured. The reason players are getting injured is not because there's too many games. Maybe that is a component. But the biggest reason is because clubs aren't rotating enough. And I am a firm component believer of this. Think about it. Let's look at Bukayo Saka. Saka's been playing non-stop. Non-stop, I'm telling you. He doesn't get rotated. When he eventually gets injured, because it's a matter of time, the human body cannot recover consistently from playing 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, 3 days. Arsenal will complain that, oh my God, he's injured. How did he get injured? He's going to be out for a foreseeable future. Why? Because you're not rotating the player. And that's the fact of the matter. We need to be honest and open about these conversations. Reece James, if we consistently play him when we know he's got injury problems, it is on the club. That is gross misconduct from the club. They know their assets. They know who they have. They know how to operate with him. They know how to look after him. And if they don't look after him, whose fault is it? It's the club's fault. TV companies take no blame for this, purely based on the fact that they have paid a heck of a lot of money to show these games. Once you show these games, the clubs, the board need to decide with their doctors, is this the right game? Because you have 25 players, use them. You don't have to do 11 changes, but do 3 changes every game, 2 changes every game. Yes, your results might be impacted, but the reality is your players aren't going to get injured as often, because you're going to be resting players. And that's the truth of the matter. Most coaches don't want to do it. They don't want to lose their jobs. They don't want to be in risk. And this is where the organization needs to step in. Either back your managers or stop moaning that your players are getting injured. That's just my personal opinion. I want to hear yours. Do you think I'm being out of order when I say this? I personally think, no, I'm not.